Details about rapper Offset, who was shot at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino last night. He continues to recover from a gunshot wound while another rapper who was there walked out of jail.
Offset just got shot in the stomach about an hour ago after things turned wild with Lil Tjay down in Florida. And this situation is way deeper than it looks at first glance. This didn't just come out of nowhere. There's history behind it, and it's been building for a while. Before today's chaos, there was already tension brewing between them. And people who've been paying attention saw the signs way earlier. So let's take it back a bit, because this clash didn't just spark randomly. It's tied to money, pride, and public disrespect that's been sitting out in the open for everyone to see. About a year ago, Lil Tjay hit social media and straight up called Offset out, putting his business on blast in front of the whole internet. He claimed Offset owed him money and was dodging payment, making it seem like things were getting messy behind the scenes. Lil Tjay didn't hold back either. He went as far as saying Offset was unreliable and warned others not to lend him anything. He said, nobody should ever borrow Offset money ever again, because he's a bum who won't pay it back. That statement alone turned heads and added serious pressure, making this whole situation feel personal, not just business.
Why this Offset? Offset broke. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all the stream too. That broke. That popped. I'll tell y'all a true story. I ain't got nothing to do with that casino. He was popped. He was panicking. He was asking random people for cash apps. He was broke. I don't know what happened. Nobody was answering his phone call. He popped, trying to run up, chasing. Must got a gambling addiction. Yo, he just popped. He called cash apps in front of me. I ain't gonna lie to you. The first 5 I offered, I'm like, yo, you popped. You waiting for some bread? For my money. I swung that 5. You know how I get. He gets popped. Not us two dicing each other. He gets popped straight to the casino. Goes nap. He get another loan from somebody else for like 2 bands. I don't even take my loan. I'm like, that's Offset. I'm good on my money. I'm worried about this. Got mad, bread. I definitely run off for 5 bands. He popped for the...
Lil Tjay might have handled it smoother, sure, but after someone keeps dodging your money for that long, patience runs out fast. At some point, it stops being about being polite and turns into straight frustration. He basically made it clear. If you know you owe me and you keep avoiding me, why should I keep acting cool about it? That energy was building up, and you could tell he was done playing nice. So things started getting loud online real quick. Tjay was pressing him, saying stuff like, "Where you at?" And even throwing out threats like, "I'm gonna slap the whole out of you." And that right there took it from business to personal instantly. Offset wasn't just gonna sit quiet either. He fired back like he couldn't believe what he was hearing, acting like Tjay was out of line. But behind all that back and forth, you could feel it. This wasn't just talk anymore. It was turning into something bigger. And here's where it gets messy. Situations like this can flip real fast, because once money and pride mix together, people start moving different. Sometimes, instead of paying what they owe, folks switch the narrative and turn it into beef. It's like creating tension becomes a distraction from the real issue, the unpaid money. That's how things spiral. And once both sides lock in, it's no longer about settling up, it's about who's gonna back down first. Tjay putting everything out there publicly might have actually shifted the whole situation. By calling it out first, he changed the energy and forced it into the spotlight. Now Offset had pressure on him, and instead of it staying private, it turned into a full-on public clash. You can almost see how this gave Offset room to flip the situation into something else, because once it becomes beef, the original problem gets buried under all the noise. Then the messages got even more heated. Offset clapped back saying, "You barely lived already. Who the F you think you talking to, Ninja?" Making it clear he wasn't backing down at all. He even added, "I'm in New York right now, come smack me, little boy," throwing out his location like he was ready for whatever. That kind of talk just pours gasoline on everything, making it impossible for things to cool off. And Tjay didn't step back either. He posted everything, tagged Offset directly and said, "Offset, yo, pay that tab, homie. Don't fade yourself over. A little 10-pack. That line right there kept the focus on the money, but the tone made it clear. This wasn't just business anymore. It was personal pride on the line. Offset responded again saying, "If it is that, stop DMing me for trace reasons," trying to shut down the private talks and keep it all in the open. At that point, it was clear. This wasn't getting resolved quietly anytime soon. Tjay kept it direct and didn't switch up his stance at all. He said, "Nah, never that, little bro. I just want my 10. Making it clear this wasn't about clout or anything extra. It was about getting what he felt he was owed. Offset replied with, "Say that," but nothing really got settled, and the tension just kept building instead of cooling down. Then Tjay took it right back to social media and doubled down, warning everybody straight up, "Do not loan Offset no money. He's popped LLL just in case." That kind of public call-out hits different, because now it's not just between two people, it's the whole audience watching, judging, and picking sides. And he didn't stop there either. He went even harder with another post saying, "I could never be broke," like Offset running off making smoke over lunch money. That line added more heat, basically clowning the whole situation and turning it into something bigger than just a debt. He even threw in, "Free smoke tomorrow for Ninja's Offset," making it sound like he was ready for whatever comes next. Offset didn't duck the energy either. He jumped in the comments, tagged Tjay, and said, "Let's hit on live, I'll fly to you," trying to bring it face to face in real time. Then he added more pressure with, "This ain't going to stop your fell-off allegations," flipping it back on Tjay and questioning his status. It turned into a back and forth where both sides were trying to outdo each other in front of everyone watching. Offset kept pushing, saying, "Meet me in New York and give me a one-on live," basically challenging him directly. At that point, it wasn't even about the money anymore. It was about pride, image, and who was gonna look stronger online. Once it gets to that level, backing down feels impossible, especially when everything is public. Now, realistically, once things hit social media like this, it's hard to walk it back. Nobody wants to be the one to privately message first and try to squash it, because if that leaks, people start throwing labels and calling it weak. So both sides stay locked in, even if a simple conversation could have ended everything early. There have also been claims floating around about Offset having ongoing financial issues tied to gambling, with stories saying he's reached out to others for money in the past. Those situations, whether fully accurate or not, added more fuel to what Tjay was already saying and made the whole situation look even messier in the public eye. And with all that noise stacking up, it just made this clash feel bigger, louder, and way harder to resolve quietly.
Like, yo, I need a favor. This
Wait,
is a
let's
test.
not skip over that. He told her to he still needed that. He still needed that.
Oh. So he was like, I did a favor and this is a test. I was like, okay, what? He was like, how much money can you get or are you by? And I was like, I mean, like I sent him the video, like all that money that I have in my safe.
You're rich.
And he immediately called me. He called me back and then he was like, bring all of it. And I was like, I don't even know how much this is. He was like, bring all of it, because I have a ton of 20s and then like hundreds.
At the time, not now, currently.
No.
Because, continue, keep going.
Because now, so then he was like, yeah, bring all of it. So I actually did. But in my mind, I was like, I can't give him the 20s. Like, let me just give him the hundreds. He was like counting out in the car. I went to the casino, by the way. I'm not gonna do every single detail and have this.
She's working on her 40-minute straight drive.
And the same pattern people are pointing out with Tjay, some are saying it looks familiar. The moment it's time to pay back money, suddenly things turn into tension and arguments instead of a simple transaction. That's what's got people talking, because it makes the situation look less like a misunderstanding and more like a cycle that keeps repeating. Selena Powell even spoke up about her own situation, saying she felt pressured after asking for money she claimed was owed to her. She went public and said, "If anything happens to me, Offset did it," which instantly grabbed attention and made everything feel way more serious. That kind of statement doesn't just stay quiet. It spreads fast and adds another layer to the story. She also shared how stressful it had become, saying, "Tired of this grown man threatening me almost every day and got me living in fear, because he owed me $15,000. I tried to get my money back for weeks, and all I've gotten is threats." Those claims painted a picture of things going way beyond just money, turning it into something more intense and personal. Because of situations like this, people online started connecting the dots and questioning whether this is a repeated approach when money gets involved. When multiple stories start sounding similar, it naturally raises eyebrows and gets the audience looking closer at everything. And that's what really confuses a lot of people. When someone is known to have serious money, hearing about disputes over relatively smaller amounts just doesn't add up in people's minds. It creates this disconnect where the public starts asking, why let things escalate this far instead of just settling it and moving on? Selena also shared a video she claimed was connected to the situation, adding more attention and giving people something visual to react to. Once that kind of content hits the internet, it spreads quickly and keeps the conversation alive, making it even harder for anything to stay private or calm down.
What?
Okay.
Think shit sweet. I'm thinking sweet. Shit ain't sweet, mama. On my mama, it ain't. My mama, you think you seen something every time? Why did?
Okay.
This whole situation just sounds wild when you really break it down. What started as online tension didn't stay online. It carried over into real life, and that's when things took a serious turn. Reports say Offset and Lil Tjay ended up crossing paths in person near the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida, and that's where everything escalated fast. During that encounter, things got out of control, and Offset ended up getting shot, reportedly in the leg. He was rushed to the hospital right after, but thankfully the injuries were said to be non-life-threatening. He was listed in stable condition, and last updates say he's still recovering in the hospital. Even with that, the situation still has people on edge because of how quickly things went from talk to real danger. Authorities stepped in immediately. A spokesperson for the Seminole County Police Department confirmed that the incident happened shortly after 7 p.m. Monday in the Valet area outside the Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood. They made it clear the situation was handled quickly, the area was secured, and there was no ongoing threat to the public. 2 individuals were detained, and the investigation is still ongoing, so more details could come out at any time. Now here's where everything connects. Both Tjay and Offset were reportedly at the same casino that day, which made the run-in almost unavoidable. When 2 people with that kind of tension end up in the same place, especially with everything already boiling online, it doesn't take much for things to spark. There's also been a lot of talk about Offset frequently spending time at casinos, which is why some people weren't even surprised they crossed paths there. That environment, mixed with unresolved issues and public back and forth, created the perfect setup for things to go left fast. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened when the situation moved from screens to real life. So here's how everything reportedly went down. Both Offset and Lil Tjay were outside the casino, posted up in the valet area, and that's where they unexpectedly ran into each other. With all that tension already built up from online back and forth, it didn't take long before things got heated in person. From what's being said, Offset was the one who stepped in and initiated the confrontation. And to be real, nobody expected either of them to back down in a moment like that. Emotions were already high, pride was involved, and once they got face to face, it turned intense real quick. Reports claim both of them got in each other's space, and the situation turned physical. Offset allegedly started throwing hands, and it quickly became a full-on altercation right there in the open. People around them probably didn't even have time to react before everything escalated beyond control. Then everything took a dangerous turn. In the middle of the chaos, someone pulled out a weapon and shots were fired, leading to Offset getting hit. Now, exactly who fired the shot hasn't been officially confirmed, and that's where a lot of speculation is coming in. People are trying to piece it together, but right now, nothing solid has been publicly verified on that part. Authorities have detained 2 individuals, but it's still unclear who exactly was involved and what roles they played. There's also no confirmed word on whether Lil Tjay was among those detained, which leaves a lot of unanswered questions hanging in the air. As for responses, both sides have been extremely quiet. Representatives connected to Lil Tjay have reportedly shared very limited information, only confirming that an altercation happened but not going into details. And honestly, that's expected in a situation like this, especially with an active investigation going on. At the end of the day, what's clear is this: things went from online tension to a real-life confrontation, and it escalated fast into something serious. With shots fired and people detained, this situation is far from over, and more details are likely to come out as the investigation continues.
There's multiple people in custody, and police at this time, they're working to try to figure out what led to what happened. A lot of things to get to. We don't know the current status of both rappers at this moment. It's been reported that it's a leg shot when it comes to Offset, and it's supposed to be a non-life-threatening wound, but at this point, because he was transported to the hospital, we don't know the full details. Okay. Lil Tjay is a little bit more elusive. Of course, again, I have a direct official source, heavily weighted, that confirms it. However, I did also talk to his team, and his team, while confirming that there might have been an incident, they weren't at liberty to tell me, or it's a lot of things going on. This is actually happening right now. So people are in custody right now. This probably happened like an hour ago, and they aren't confirming what my other source confirmed, but it is being confirmed. It's one of the best sources I could have, that Lil Tjay was shot. But anyway, the matter of fact is, Lil Tjay and Offset was involved in the incident. Okay, now clearly, I guess you guys could probably put 2 and 2 together. It appears that maybe, well, not maybe, but most likely, Offset and Lil Tjay probably got into maybe some altercation. Why would I say that? That would just be using context clues. They haven't been getting along. They have, kind of gone back and forth, and potentially they have seen each other for the first time since all of that. The good news I do have currently, but I might have to knock on wood, I don't have a death to report, which is good. But there was absolutely a shooting that occurred. It occurred at the Hard Rock Casino.
There were also some extra reports floating around with academics mentioning that Lil Tjay might have been hit too. Now that part hasn't been fully confirmed everywhere, so it's important to take that carefully because different sources are saying different things right now. Situations like this get messy fast, and rumors start spreading before all the facts are clear. Then you had people online trying to turn it into something bigger, saying the same person who shot Offset also went after Tjay. But that doesn't really line up with what's being reported. This wasn't some random situation where people were being targeted out of nowhere. This all came from a direct confrontation between Offset and Lil Tjay that escalated way too far. What's clear is this: 2 people with ongoing tension crossed paths, things got physical, and it spiraled into gunfire. That's how fast situations can change when emotions, pride, and public pressure all collide at once. And now, with investigations still active, more details are likely to come out that could shift how everything is being understood right now. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think really went down in this situation? Do you think this could have been avoided, or was it always going to end like this once it got this heated? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you're still here, don't just watch and dip. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who's been following this story. That support really helps push the content out there. Also, check out the next video on the screen to get into another wild situation that's been heating up. Stay locked in, because there's always more to break down.